gear your keywords so when they search those keywords, you're optimized to obviously answer what they're looking for, provide them what they're looking for, and then your conversions are going to go skyrocket. Okay, so keep in mind high converting terms. Again, not normally searched. You know, a lot of this is redundant, guys, but I'm doing this for a purpose to get you to realize that this stuff is very important. Okay, but more often than not, produces sales. So low traffic doesn't always mean bad. High conversions, targeted keywords. Again, produce high conversion. Volume keywords. Make sure your keywords are actively being searched. Obviously, you don't want something that's so targeted, so low on the search volume that, you know, one or two people, you don't want to spend any time optimizing for stuff like that. Okay, so just make sure it's not too targeted. Informational queries, guys. This is awesome. Informational keywords are great for articles, press releases, video marketing, blogs, stuff like that. If you're not into optimizing your websites or whatnot, but you want to do these other resources of marketing, informational query keywords are huge. Example for how-to phrases, how to drive close sales, or how to create a capture page. For example, like this title, and I haven't got my title yet, but I'm going to say how to do keyword research, how to do something. Okay, so people are always looking for how-tos. Huge. And then so that type of keywords is going to help build the audience. It's going to help build trust. They're going to look to you as like, okay, this guy knows something. You know, they're going to be interested in what you're doing, especially if we're doing internet marketing or whatever it is you're doing. You know, who would want to go with someone who's providing content, teaching them something before they ever get into their business? So you build long-term trust with this kind of technique. So that's great. Informational queries, I love doing them. Okay, so analyzing phrases for quality. Okay, up to now, guys, analyzing our keywords have been pretty straightforward. This next section, we're gonna be more subjective. It's gonna require a little more time, just as I'm going basically word for word from this presentation, because I want to keep on track, because I have a tendency to go off track if I don't have something keeping me here. So that's why I'm using this PowerPoint presentation. And again, it's going to be able for you to download. And I'm going to flash the site right here real quick since we're talking about it. So you can go ahead and get that at that website, myunitedmarketingsystems.com. Okay, and there it is. So so back to analyzing. We want to analyze for queries quality. We talked about that. What the customer is looking for. Okay, that is obviously the ultimate question we're trying to figure out. What are they looking for? And if we can match that, you're in. It's not always easy, obviously, to get in my searchers. That is very true. But one tip to do, guys, to search for your keyword phrases, if the results. Now, what I mean by this is that go into Google, MSN, whatever, type in the keywords you're trying to optimize for, and if the results that you see in the Google or MSN or Yahoo, whatever, if those results are pretty good in comparison to what you're doing, to what you're offering, your content, then it's probably a good keyword. If a lot of different things come up in the search results that aren't related to exactly what you thought you were optimizing for, it's probably a good idea. You don't want to use that keyword. You need to, rephrase it, restructure it so it's more geared towards your content. And that's an easy mistake to do. Okay, so other times you want to think logically too. If the searcher's looking for hairless dogs, that's a little bit extreme, then you can be sure they're not looking for hairy dogs, right? So, and it's kind of exaggerated, obviously, but you get the idea. Okay, so this is basically more targeted. So future seasonal trends, real quick, we'll talk about that. Keep in mind, certain keywords become more popular during any given time. Okay, so I guess an example for that is, say you're a pine tree dealer. I don't know if that even exists. I'm sure they have to somewhere. You optimize your site for pine trees, man. You really want to. You got this nursery. You're selling pine trees, and then Christmas comes along, and people are searching certain terms. Obviously they're going to use Christmas trees, but they may be using specific types of pine trees out there. And I don't really know any terminology for pine trees, but what I'm trying to say is that the keywords that you're optimizing your site for your pine tree nursery is going to get bombarded with a bunch of other stuff during Christmas. Okay, so basically there's nothing you can really do about that. All you can do is maybe go to an off keyword that's not so directly towards pine trees. Maybe, I don't know if there's other words for pine trees, whatever it may be, but you get the idea. Write it out. When Christmas is over, you can go back to your main keywords, okay? Stuff like that. So you always want to make sure you keep on top of things. So enough about that. I'm sure you got that by now. So ROI, again, return on investment. Will the keyword produce return on investment? That's the key. Everything must be weighted here. So this is all really a whole process of weighting what's important to you versus a lot of things, okay? So everything's going to be weighted, knowing how much time and effort it's going to take to get a particular keyword ranked is it worth the effort? And only you can answer that. So rule of thumb versus that I like to use for keyword phrases versus ROI. Basically, here's what it comes down to. Keyword phrases consisting of 2 to 4 words provide the best ROI, because obviously more words, the better targeted, the better conversion, the best return on investment, right? So they can be both descriptive and specific by using 2 to 4 words. And here's a little thing I put, I got this actually off the web somewhere. It just gives you a correlation between single words, okay, traffic delivered, and then conversion rates. So 2 keywords, you're going to get some conversions. 3 keywords, you get more. 4, you're going to get great. So you get the idea. 5, 6 or more keywords, you're obviously going to get the greatest conversions, but your traffic's going to be very little. So you got to weigh all this stuff. So only you can figure out where you want to be with that. Okay, so organizing keywords for success. Okay, guys, last phase. And if you made it this far, obviously you're doing a good thing, because a lot of people, they don't put a lot of weight on keyword research, and that's sad, because, well, not sad, I guess good for us, right? For those who want to learn, because a lot of business is lost because of poor keyword optimization, or optimizing not enough. So congratulations to anyone who's made it this far so far. So let's move on. Last phase. This is the point where many SEO and key researchers focus up to, but they don't seem to go beyond this last phase. They don't do this last phase, okay? And my experience is, I think this is an extremely important phase, okay? The importance of organizing keywords properly, guys, is obviously going to create a much more successful campaign, okay? So a summary of the 4 phases that we're going to use, that's basically I'm going to use as the analogy of building a house. I couldn't think of any better way to do it. It's kind of, you'll see. So phase 1, figuring out what type of house, okay? In this whole process, what are we trying to do? What is it we're doing? So if we're building a house, this phase is about understanding what type of house we're building. Whether we're going to, we're going to analyze various aspects of the house to figure out what we're working with, by figuring better core terms, all that stuff. Okay. And I guess that would be more related to like what types of house you're building. Is it going to be an apartment? Is it going to be a house with a basement? We're going to have a driveway, 2-car, 3-car garage. What are we trying to do? Okay, so enough about that. So phase 2 and 3, learn what parts we're going to need. So for my example, I need to figure out the more details. Okay, now we have the full structure of what we're trying to accomplish. Now, what are the details that we're going to need to get this to happen? Well, we got to know what kind of foundation we're going to use, what kind of structure, we can use brick or stucco, stuff like that. So these are more of the subcategories of how we're going to get to building that specific house. So when it relates to is figure out the best phrases that describe what we're trying to do, and discard phrases are not going to help us achieve our goal. Okay. And phrase 4 is where you're going to piece it all together. This is where you're going to figure out all the parts you need to construct the house properly. You want to optimize for every possible keyword that's relevant to the construction of the house, so when people come looking for that specific house, they see the house was built properly to all their likings. Okay, what I mean by that, you've taken care of everything, the subcategories, all the information about the house is there. They don't need to go anywhere else. Everything that they're looking for can be answered. And that you can answer these questions and do these phases, you're going to be fully optimized to whatever content or website you're trying to get out there. It's going to be a world of difference. So again, keep in mind, as time goes on, of course, you want to continuously optimize your site. Okay, you may not have things perfect the first time, whether that be the case, or maybe your business changes, or it's different structures of the business, or the product changes. You want to constantly, optimizing, which is a very minimal time requirement versus the whole initial keyword research for that. Okay, so enough about that. So how do we start organizing? Okay, we need to analyze 3 things. We need to know, first, is it achievable? Okay, are your keywords achievable considering your budget and time? If you're going after a targeted keyword that everyone else is going after, home business, and it's a broad term, but say home business, whatever, do you got the time or money to rank for that keyword? Most cases, probably not. Okay, so quickest results. Which keywords can you determine that will produce strong results relatively fast? Okay, again, generally long tail keywords work here. That's again a keyword, 3 or more phrases. I like to consider it a pretty targeted keyword. And again, quick results too are also how-to key phrases. I find that how-to gets picked up pretty quick out there. Most profitable, it's not just ranking we're looking for, obviously. What keywords can you use for profit? Again, these are generally going to be pretty focused keywords, lower value, high ROI. You get the point. Create a spreadsheet for each web